Somewhere in an Amazon warehouse right now, an AI isn't just answering questions. It's placing orders, negotiating refunds, managing inventory, and filing internal reports. All by itself. No human involved. And according to Gartner, 40% of all enterprise software will have AI agents built into it by the end of this year. Not AI assistants, not chatbots, agents. Things that do work on their own. 2 years ago, the most exciting thing AI could do was write your emails. Then it could code. Then it could generate images. Now, it's making decisions, taking actions, and running entire workflows without you lifting a finger. This shift has a name. It's called Agentic AI. And it's not coming. It's already here. It's just that most people don't know what it is, how it works, or most importantly, what it means for them. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly what Agentic AI is, how it's different from the AI you've already used, and what real companies are doing with it right now. No technical background required. Let's go. Think about how you've used AI so far. You type something in, it gives you an answer. You copy that answer somewhere. Go to another tool, you do something with it. You come back, you ask again. You are the connective tissue. You are the thing doing all the moving and clicking and copying between steps, which is fine for simple tasks. But the moment you need AI to do anything remotely complex, anything that spans more than one app or takes more than one step, you hit a wall. Think of it this way. Imagine hiring a contractor to renovate your kitchen. Imagine if every single time they finished one thing, screwing in one cabinet, they called you on the phone, waited for you to say, okay, now screw in the next one, then stopped again. That's what using a chatbot for complex work feels like. It's capable, but it needs you constantly. You can't step away. Agentic AI is the upgrade from that contractor model to a full employee. One who takes the whole project, figures out the steps themselves, uses the tools they need, and comes back to you when the job is done. So what exactly is an AI agent? Here's the simplest way to think about it. A regular AI, like ChatGPT or Claude, is reactive. You talk to it, it responds. Every single exchange starts with you. It's a very smart answer machine. An AI agent is proactive. You give it a goal, not just a question, and it figures out the steps to achieve that goal on its own. It uses tools. It browses the web. It writes files. It calls other software. It loops back and checks its own work. It keeps going until the job is done. Every AI agent, no matter how simple or complex, works on the same basic foundation. There are 4 things it needs to do. First, perceive. It needs to understand its environment. What information does it have? What's the goal? What tools are available to it? Second, plan. It needs to break down a big goal into smaller steps. What do I do first? What do I do if that fails? Third, act. It needs to actually do things, not just talk about them. Send an email, search the web, write code, call an API. And fifth, remember. It needs to keep track of what it's done, what worked, what didn't, so it doesn't repeat itself or contradict itself. Put those 4 things together, and you get something that can take a prompt like plan my product launch and actually execute it. Researching competitors, drafting a press release, scheduling social posts, and reporting back. Let me make this really concrete. Say you're launching a new product and you want to understand your competition. With a chatbot, you'd type, who are the top competitors for X? It gives you a list. Then you'd have to go visit each website yourself, take notes, build a spreadsheet yourself, format it yourself. With an AI agent, you say, research the top 5 competitors for my SaaS product and create a comparison table in my Google Sheet. Include pricing, key features, and target audience. The agent browses each website, takes notes, opens your Google Sheet, populates it, formats it, sends you a link saying done. You went from spending 2 hours on that task to spending 2 minutes writing the instruction. Here's where things get really interesting. And a bit mind-bending if you've never heard this before. The biggest organizations aren't just using one AI agent, they're using teams of AI agents, each one specialized at a specific job, all coordinated by a manager agent, sometimes called an orchestrator. Think of it exactly like a company. You don't have one person who does all the sales, all the engineering, all the finance, and all the marketing. You have specialists. And you have a manager who assigns work, checks quality, and makes sure everything fits together. A multi-agent system works the same way. You might have a researcher agent whose only job is to find information, a writer agent who drafts content, a coder agent who builds things, a quality check agent who reviews everything, and an orchestrator that delegates tasks and pulls the results together. Gartner, one of the most respected technology research firms in the world, reported a 1,445% increase in organizations asking them about multi-agent AI systems in just 12 months. Not 14%, 1,445%. That number tells you one thing very clearly. Companies figured out something important, and they all figured it out at the same time. And that something is, one AI agent is good. A team of AI agents is transformative. This isn't theoretical. Let me give you two real examples from companies you know. Toyota is using multi-agent systems in their manufacturing operations. Multiple agents monitor production lines, predict which components will fail before they fail, automatically reorder parts, and update maintenance schedules, all without a human in the loop for those routine decisions. Amazon has agents handling huge portions of their customer service and fulfillment operations. An agent flags an order delay. Another agent calculates whether to reroute it or offer a discount. Another agent executes the decision and sends the customer an update. The human team only sees the edge cases, the ones that need judgment. And here's the development that really made me stop and think this week. As of February 2026, AI agents are now executing financial transactions. Not just recommending them, actually completing them. According to PMNT's intelligence, a financial technology research firm, AI agents are now processing refunds, renewing subscriptions, and completing purchases. Visa and other payment networks are building dedicated token systems specifically designed for transactions where the buyer isn't a human. It's an agent. Think about what that means. An AI agent can now browse your subscriptions, identify ones you haven't used in 3 months, cancel them, and confirm the refunds without you clicking anything. That was science fiction 18 months ago. Here's a misconception I want to address head-on, because I hear it all the time. If AI can do it all, why do we need humans at all? The answer is because doing it and doing it right for the right reasons are two different things. And the most successful organizations building with agentic AI understand this better than anyone. Think of a commercial airplane's autopilot. It can fly a plane better than a human pilot in most conditions. It maintains altitude, adjusts for turbulence, plots the optimal route. But you don't get rid of the pilots. You change what the pilots are responsible for. Instead of manually flying every minute of a 12-hour flight, they monitor, they handle anomalies, they make judgment calls in complex situations, they take over when autopilot hits something it wasn't designed for. That's exactly how smart organizations are designing their AI agent systems. The best framework I've seen for this is what I call the 3 zones of automation. Zone 1 is green, full automation. These are routine, low-risk, high-volume tasks where the agent handles everything end-to-end. Think: scheduling meetings, routing customer service tickets, processing standard refunds, sending confirmation emails. The cost of a mistake is low, the volume is high, and human review would actually slow things down. Zone 2 is yellow. AI acts, but a human reviews before it's final. These are medium stakes decisions where the agent does all the research and drafts an action, but a human approves it before it executes. Think: drafting a contract, creating a marketing campaign, making a hiring recommendation. Zone 3 is red. The human decides, the AI assists. These are high stakes, judgment heavy situations. Think: firing someone, launching a product, making a major financial commitment. The AI can surface information, run scenarios, flag risks, but the human makes the call. I'd be doing you a disservice if I just told you the exciting stuff without being honest about the risks. So let's talk about what can go wrong with AI agents. The first problem is called hallucination at scale. A chatbot that gives you wrong information is annoying. An agent that acts on wrong information can cause real problems. Sending a wrong email to a client, ordering the wrong inventory, canceling the right subscription. The second problem is what engineers call misalignment, where the agent achieves your stated goal but not your actual intention. You say, maximize user engagement. The agent starts sending 5 notifications a day because that increases clicks. Technically correct, actually terrible. And the third problem is accountability. When an agent makes a mistake, who is responsible? The person who deployed it. Which means before you hand off authority to an agent, you need to be very clear about what it can and can't do, and have review checkpoints for anything consequential. Now here's the part I really want you to take away from this section. You don't need to be a Fortune 500 company to benefit from this. The tools that power Agentic AI are increasingly available to everyone. A solo freelancer can build an agent that handles their invoicing, follows up on late payments, and updates their portfolio. A small bakery owner can have an agent manage their social media calendar, respond to common customer questions, and track ingredient orders. The barrier to entry is dropping fast. And the people who learn how to build and direct AI agents in the next 12 months are going to have a massive advantage over those who don't. Alright, we've covered a lot of ground. Let me bring it all together into 3 things I want you to remember from this video. We're at the very beginning of this shift. The market for Agentic AI is going from 7.8 billion to 52 billion by 2030. The tools are getting cheaper, easier, and more powerful every single month. And the organizations and individuals who understand how this works and start experimenting now are going to be the ones who look back in 5 years and say, that was the moment everything changed. And the really exciting part? We haven't even talked about what happens when you give AI agents access to the physical world. Robotics, self-driving vehicles, automated labs. That's the next chapter. But it starts with what you learned today. If this video changed how you think about AI, or just gave you words for something you'd already been feeling, hit that like button. It genuinely helps this channel reach more people who need to understand this stuff. And if you want to stay on top of where AI is actually going, not the hype, not the fear, just clear explanations of what's real and what matters, subscribe. I put 1 video a week, and I promise everyone is worth your time. And speaking of things that are real right now, this week is wild in AI. 7 major AI models are being released in a single month. GPT 5.3, Gemini 3, Claude Sonnet 5, DeepSeek V4, and more. They're all competing head-to-head for the first time. In my next video, I break down what each one does, who wins the benchmarks, and most importantly, what it actually means for you if you're trying to pick the right AI tool for your work. That video drops Thursday. I'll see you there.